It's a Tuesday tip. Yes, it's Tuesday, second day of the week. We've made it this far, right? Anyway, I wanted to get on today and just kind of talk to you. The last year has been pretty difficult for all of us. So I just kind of wanted to give you what, so kind of my theme today is what has changed for me in the last year. Okay. Um, as a lot of you know, there's been a lot of things that have happened. COVID, um, then the derecho came through, and trying to get repaired and all of that. So here's the things that have changed for me. With all of that comes a lot of stress, a lot of whatever. But we're almost a year into where we've had to put masks on and quarantine and stay away from everybody, right? Um, so I guess one of the first things that have changed for me is when the COVID started and everything happened, my husband and I's life didn't change. The only thing that changed is our oldest son and my youngest son came home from school and they were off from March until we went back in August, right? Um, so what really didn't change for me, nothing really changed for me as far as everyday work because my husband and I were considered essential workers. But what did change was the need to simplify things. We didn't need to go out to eat every week. We were cooking more dinners at home. We were saving money. We didn't need to go places. I mean, there was no place to go, but we realized that simplifying things is a good thing. It's a good thing. It is really a good thing. Like, at the end of the day, stuff is just stuff. And even we do not have to be on a dead sprint from the time we get up in the morning until the time we go to bed. And we do not have to run from Monday morning through Sunday evening and then sit there and go, we need a vacation, right? We have figured out that we enjoyed, we took a lot of trail rides around, not around our section, but we have a field that we can kind of go down and walk up. And we did that as a family a lot. We went and walked the dirt roads and that kind of stuff. So we didn't go anywhere to enjoy each other's time. We just stayed here, did things on the acreage and that kind of stuff. Built some fence that we were going to do not last fall, but the fall before. Um, that didn't get done because we had snow on Halloween. So we did that and we just kind of fixed things up, So I guess the first biggest thing that changed for me was just we realized that simplicity is a great thing. So I pretty sure we will plan to move forward with that as we go on, even if everything were to go back to normal. The second thing that changed in my life is the closeness with my family. So my kids and I, not that we do a lot together anyway, but we really did enjoy each other's time and spent time. We talked a lot more this year. Plus, my boys and I, it just so happened that when derecho hit, both of my boys were home. My husband was out of town for work. And I thank God every day for the fact that the boys were home because if it wouldn't have been for them, I don't know that I would have gotten it all done myself. Living without water, that kind of thing. Luckily, we were fortunate and we had filled up our trailer with water. So I did have showering abilities during that time, thank God. Just because I love my showers in the morning, I'll be honest. But I was just as much as there was damage here, I truly was thankful the fact that I wasn't here by myself because I very well could have been here by myself. And I'm just glad that I was not here by myself. My husband was able to come home midweek and help get things figured out. But that Tuesday after, if it wouldn't have been for my oldest son, he really jumped in and I shouldn't say Trevor did too. Trevor jumped in and helped too. But we spent probably 3 hours that Tuesday morning just trying to find gas for the generator and some place to get water, how to get the horses water. So the closest my family is something that has really changed. And even though my oldest has gone off to college, we still talk quite frequently. Not as frequent as, you could, like if he was here every day, but we still do talk pretty frequently. The third thing, probably one of the biggest things, is I figured out how to exercise my ability to adapt and overcome. This is a big one because you're a lot stronger than what you give yourself credit for. So Monday night after the derecho, so we've been working the whole time, right? COVID. The Monday night of the derecho, when the electricity was out, I was kind of like, oh, it'll be back on in the morning. I think a lot of people did, right? Um, that Tuesday morning, I woke up and I went, oh crap, we don't have any water for the horses. We don't have any water to flush toilets, you know, da 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 da. So that's when I think that's when the exercising of the abilities have really started. And it started with COVID too. I mean, you just learn how to adapt and overcome to things, and you figure out really what you are scared of and what you're not scared of. And the derecho, even though it really tested me because my husband wasn't here and I was the decision maker, which a lot of times I make decisions, but my husband and I do that together. Um, it just the ability to adapt and overcome was just amazing, amazing. And I just kind of started thinking about like how I got water was I remembered that a friend of mine had a submersible pump and I pumped water from one water tank to another. No, it wasn't the cleanest water because of the storm, but it was wet and it allowed me a little time so I could get water from someplace else. So, and then it was just scrambling to figure out where to get water and that kind of stuff. So, the ability to adapt and overcome, and then to have to start putting it all together, putting it all back together. I had done something that I had never done in my life. I claimed an insurance claim. I mean, I guess maybe I've done one on the car when my car got stolen, but I didn't had never claimed one of that magnitude, I guess is my point. We've just never had that kind of damage before. So, you kind of learn as you go and you just learn how to adapt and overcome. But you know what? The thing is that I want you guys to all remember is you're stronger than what you give yourself credit for. Had you asked me in July that if this storm came through and did this, could I survive 10 days without water when I was not prepared for it? I probably would have went no, but you know what? We figured it out. And people are good people. I ask people that I'm not necessarily great friends with, but they have horses. So I was just like, hey, can I get some water? So we just kind of, and then we had people that we are good friends with that got electricity before us that we were able to get water from. And without all of that, it took a village. It wasn't something I did on my own, but my ability to adapt and overcome and now to put things back together and live in utter chaos and the construction that we're doing on the inside of the house as well as what we did on the outside of the house, I'm getting pretty good at adapting and overcoming. So, and the fourth thing, then probably the biggest thing is I gave it all to God. Like I think I don't remember where I've seen this, so please forgive me if I can't, but there is, something about worry does not add any extra hours or minutes to the day. Okay. So I really had to sit back and take a breath and just do the old thing of how do you eat an elephant a bite at a time? Because after COVID and we were all working so hard, and it was stressful because we had to redo processes at work. I mean, completely from scratch. And we had to learn from that and figure it out. Now we've got a pretty fine oiled machine now that we've been doing it almost a year. But just that initial of having to redo everything from scratch, the not knowing whether things were going to be on or canceled or, you know, was something that you planned going to happen or not, just the uncertainty of things. And then with the derecho and that big thing, I literally, I just had to give it over to God. I just had to say, I think it's Carrie Underwood that sings the song, Jesus Take the Wheel. Um, he really had to take the wheel because we had to still live and still work. I couldn't just be like taking a few months off. Had to still live and still work and take care of animals and get a son off to college and figure all of that out. And things happened as they should, and it was all in perfect timing. But that is what has changed for me over the last year. And these are things that are probably not going to change back, even if we were to suddenly all go back to normal. You know, I could hope that we go back to normal. I think we will go back to normal. I really do think we will. Um, but after all of that, I think I'm going to keep things simple. I'm going to keep my family close, and I'm going to just give as much of it to God as I can. And that's what I have to do to adapt and overcome. So I hope you guys found this a little bit useful because I think we're all in the same boat. I know we're coming on to the year of when COVID started. So I know this is weighing on a lot of people's minds. They're getting tired of masks and everything. And so I just thought I would get on today and give you a little tip on what has changed in my life in the last year. So I hope to see you guys all next Tuesday. I'll be on here all week. If you did like this video and you'd like to see more like this, or maybe find out some ways to just simply simplify your life, there is a link in the comments, or not in the comments, excuse me. There is a link in the description that gives you to my group. So pop on over, and then I have some freebies on my website that you can grab a hold of if you want to dig even deeper and maybe get some things set up for your end of life, preparedness for that kind of stuff. So anyway, you guys have a great Tuesday. I will see you soon.